Welcome to my neighborhood. Mr. Rogers in the house. I'm trying to be nice, Dutch, but I got to pick up. So this New England Journal of Medicine study over the last 30 years with 12,000 people in the study, what they found out is that if you were friends with somebody who was obese, you have a 57% chance of being obese yourself. So the social trigger is if you're around somebody that is not disciplined in their eating habits or their exercise and fitness, 57% chance that you're going to jump on with that. Now, buckle up because this is where it gets ugly. Literally. I mean, the stats go through the roof. If you identified, either of you have identified in the relationship that you were close, if you check the box, yeah, they're a close friend and they're obese, the percentages go up to 171%, which is guaranteed you will be obese, 171%. Now, this is just talking about weight, people's, their health that we could see. This isn't now. If that happens with just the stuff with food, it's going to happen with drugs. It's going to happen with alcohol. It's going to happen with sex. It's going to happen, but it's also going to happen with I hit my target. I'm motivated. I'm energized. I think critically. My mind covers the, is in charge of the boardroom. I make great decisions. I communicate effectively, and I love people.
Now, can I clear something? I want to make something absolutely clear to the listeners. We're not saying you don't hang around people that are obese. In that sense, it's not that simple. We're saying that if you don't understand what's going on and you don't have control of your mind state.
Right. The trigger is.
So hanging around people, not just obese people, but people who practice certain things or do things a certain way, you can fall into that path. So we're saying if you don't have control of your mind state, you're subject to all these different things. If you have control of your mind state, not only can you be around people that are obese because you're in control of your mind state, you can help them, right? Yeah. So you become a positive part of what they're trying to do. So I don't want anyone walking away saying, well, they say I can't be around my obese friends. No. Once you get a hold and a handle on your mind state, when you've dominated, when you are in complete control,
you become the trigger, not being triggered by somebody else's behavior.
Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to get, right? So our mind is in charge of this thing, and we don't prey to these triggers that put us down the wrong path. Now, listen, Dutch, you and I were talking about this before I came on. You and I came on tonight. We just kind of did our pre-show call, and I was talking about, listen, here's the trigger, right? When you're around those folks that are not as disciplined in their, what they do is they set themselves up for failure by buying the ice cream and putting it in the freezer all the time, telling themselves they're not going to eat it. And then the ice cream starts calling out, Dutch, I'm in here. Come eat me. I'm yummy.
And we're answering the call, baby. We're answering that call.
So then so that's the trigger. So you make no provision. If you identify that that's a trigger, then make no provision. Make the decision, I'm not going to be around that trigger. Now
I'm not going to purchase it. It's not going to be in the refrigerator in the first place. So again, as Andrew and I always say, once you make the decision, then the choices are easy. If I decide not to buy ice cream, I can't choose to walk to the freezer and get the ice cream.
Because it ain't going to be there. Right? I mean, it's just brilliant. So, and again, it's not that we're going to be like, well, I'm not going to think about ice cream, because then what do you just think about? Don't think of a pink elephant. Don't think about ice cream. Don't think about ice cream. Don't think about ice cream. All you're thinking about is ice cream. So I need to replace that trigger with another trigger that points me in the right direction. And this is where the solution comes in, okay? Remember, we were talking about, you asked me what's the solution, the upward spiral. Here's the solution. Set a target. That's the very first thing, because my mind is going to be triggered to go towards that target. The target, if it's not ice cream, it now becomes ice cream, because if the mind says don't, and then anything after that, it chops the don't off, and the new thing becomes whatever's left is the target. Don't eat the ice cream. Chop, eat the ice cream is the new target. So instead, I want to have a new target that says, I'm going to look smoking hot, in my bikini, and I'm going to Europe so I can wear a bikini there, Dutch. It's okay. Leopard print G-string, whatever. Anyway, it's European. It's all good. With dress socks and Oxford shoes on the beach. I actually saw that. That's not. I mean, you can't make that up.
I actually was thinking about a pink elephant while you said all that.
That was good. That was good censoring it out. I was on a contract somewhere. Some dude, I think we were at the Dead Sea in Jordan, and some dude walked by looking like, I was like, that guy has to be from like a European country. There's no way. I mean, he had to be from like Finland or something. You know what I mean? Like to be. They're like, look away. I can't look away. So you need to set a target where you want to go and recognize right? And find the right triggers that will help you get to your target. Make the conscious, intentional decision to go for it, and then seek the pleasure reward that comes from that pursuit, that healthy pursuit of that target. That's where I get my dopamine now. Because it really does feel good to accomplish something. When you set out to do something and you accomplish it, you get the dopamine rush, and it feels really, really good. And now that new pathway, but you probably haven't set a bunch of targets before and gone after them. Then you do 1, you do 2, you do 12. Next thing you know, it's I-85 through there. It's 7 lanes wide each way. And now I've got a new highway going towards healthy triggers and healthy targets and healthy dopamine release.
And when you do it long enough, as we say, it'll be autopilot. You're not even thinking about those things. You're practicing healthy habits. You're doing all these things without even thinking twice. That's where you got to get to. That's your ultimate target, is to be reaching all your targets with a meta program that you set.
Right. So now here's the stuff here's some things that we can do. All right. Now the conventional wisdom says avoid, don't drink, cuss, smoke, or chew, or go around with them that do. Right. Instead of avoiding substances, what I want to do is I want to seek out healthy things. I'm going to seek out things. And that's where that target comes in, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's professional, right? That's life on all 8 cylinders for us. It could be social with relationships. It could be mental health, where I do personal growth and learn a new language, right? It could be a career change, that professional thing where I say, well, I'm going to get promoted, or like Dutch, you said earlier, right? 40 years old, career change. That's nothing now. You might do 3 or 4 careers. I mean, I've done like 6, man.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, in layman's terms, this is what we're saying. So when you eliminate the trigger, let's say mine is listening to bad music, right? It's not getting me anywhere. So some people imagine, if I can't listen to bad music anymore, so they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs, like with all this dead space. So
right.
Again,
no, you got to replace, right?
You replace it with something that's functional, something that's going to get you closer to your target. So you're filling that new available time slot with some productive stuff that's getting you closer to your target. So, because I can hear people out there saying, well, if I can't do that anymore, then what am I going to do? That's the
there's
entire
so
point.
many other things that you could, like, go learn a new language, man. Yeah, right? Because the studies show that people who are bilingual, if they did come down with Alzheimer's, everything else being equal, they have 4.5 years. It staves off the disease 4.5 years longer than somebody that's monolingual. So guess
what?
Yeah.
But guess what? Like we said, once you set your target, then those things fill themselves in.
They self-populate. You'll have more stuff to do once you set your target. You set your what do you want your life to be in 20 years, 30 years, 50 years? I have the 300-year plan, Dutch. I never run out of stuff. I mean, I got more stuff. It's a 300-year plan. I got a 300-year target, man.
Absolutely. And that's the key. That's the key right there. So many people have this, where they say their idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
When you set targets, you always got something to do, because guess what? Your targets are so large and so expansive and so overwhelmingly good that you got so many things that you're going to be doing to piece together to reach those overwhelming heights, right? So you always got something to do. You're not sitting around. And guess what? If you do hit a target, you've already set a higher target. But once you realize you're getting close to the other target, you're raising that target.
Absolutely.
So you never not have anything to do. That's the beauty of this. You're always giving yourself something to do. There's no idle mind.
No, and we never lower our targets. I'm always raising it. I never give myself the excuse, I didn't make it, so I must have been shooting too high. No, you double down. You're
a kicking butt machine. You are a kicking butt machine.
Right. Absolutely. And then those triggers could be social media, talk radio, or I always watch some article on online, and then the comment section. It could be sports, it's some that Deflategate thing or whatever. It could be anything, right? And it could be that triggers. And like now you're in this big old conversation of drama that doesn't get you anywhere, but just gets you all ramped up.
And it does get you ramped up. I've spent hours thinking about how much of a cheater Tom Brady is, and it got me nowhere.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Unbelievable. You and Quack. All right, Quack, I'm going to see if you actually were listening. It's all the way at the end this time. All right, Dutch, the hour's gone, man. Do you believe that?
I do not. Time flies when you're having fun.
Listen,
buddy.
I packed in about as much as you get. I packed in like a 3 college credit hour course in 1 hour, 45 minutes tonight, or 55 minutes.
And guess what? There's so much more.
So much.
Join the
scratching
Phalanx.
it.
Get the course. Go to getwarriortough.com. Give us a call. There's so much more.